Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be understanding terms. When we are looking at terms in maths, we have three words you need to remember. We have the coefficient, the pronumeral, and the constant. These three words make up an expression, and two expressions with an equal sign makes up an equation. So let's have a look at this example up here. The 3, which is in green, is the coefficient. That is the thing that is next to the letter, a pronumeral. The pronumeral, which you can see in blue, is the 5. And lastly, we have the coefficient, which is in purple. That does not have a letter next to it. Two quick ways you can remember the difference between an equation and an expression is an equation has an equal sign. Expressions do not. So once you understand them, we can move on to the words of maths. In maths, we have plus, take away, times, and divide as our basic operations. These operations have many different ways that they can be described. We have plus. Plus can be described using the word and, using the word more, and also sum. Takeaway can be expressed using difference, or less than, or take away, or subtraction. Multiply can be expressed with the word multiply, times, of is quite a common one, groups of, and the product. Now normally, divide is just expressed using the word divide. You might come across a couple of different ways, but the most common one you'll see will be divide. So now that we know our definitions, let's look at a couple of examples to help better understand these new definitions. Up here, we have an expression. There is no equal sign, so it's an expression. Now first up, what is the constant of my equation? Well, the constant is the thing without a letter. So the constant in this situation is going to be plus 8. The plus is important because it means that we have a positive number. It means the constant increases things by 8. Now, what about the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x, not x squared. X and x squared are two different things. So what's the number next to the x? That would be the 3. So what about the number in front of x squared? Well, that would be negative 2. So negative 2 is the coefficient of x squared. Sometimes we have to deal with really, really long sentences. And in maths, we don't like dealing with long sentences, so we shrink them. We shrink them and use symbols. So let's have a look at a couple of examples which I can shrink into much shorter math sentences. Here we have 3 more than x. So what do we have? We have x. And we want 3 more than it. Now if you remember, more is plus. And then we want 3. So here is a much shorter way of writing 3 more than x. Now you might be saying that's not very long, but sentences can get much, much longer. Let's have a look at the next one. 4 less than x divided by 2. That's quite a long sentence. I don't really want to have to write that out. And so we can change the words into symbols. We have 4 less than x. So we have x, and we want 4 less, so we want to take away 4. So we have x, and we are going to take away 4. And then we are going to divide by 2. This is much shorter than writing that huge sentence. So another example is if I have 3 groups of bananas and I have 2 extra bananas, how would I write that? Well, I have 3 groups of bananas and 2 extras. So of is times, and is plus. We can rewrite this a little bit simpler because we don't need this times here. So I just have 3b plus 2. Some substitution, and start to use. So good luck with those questions. I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to start to substitute numbers in. We're going to find out how many bananas are in that box, and we're going to solve for how many things we have.